Good morning.
Well, it is morning here. I imagine it's not morning where you are.
No, it's evening. It's evening. Thank you for meeting with me.
What would you like to talk about, my dear?
I wanted to talk about 10,000 Buddhas.
Okay.
Remember the 10,000 Buddhas?
Not really.
Not really? You don't remember Osho talking about the 10,000?
Oh, the 10,000. Yeah. Best of luck.
All the sannyasins were going to wake up,
Yeah.
and there was going to be 10,000
Yeah.
Buddhas.
Best of luck with that.
Well, so the irony of the whole thing is that I woke up on the day Osho died. Because he had said everyone would wake up on the day that he died, right? Remember that?
Well, he said that he'd move into us. Yes.
Yeah, transmission of the lamp.
Yeah, that's right.
So the thing about, so I was living in a small town in Idaho, and I just, believed him. I was just like innocent, trusting. And so I woke up in the morning and heard that he had died. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, that means I'm already enlightened. It already happened in the middle of the night. And so I look inside, like, what's it like? Rather than waiting for something to happen. It's like, what's it like? And I look inside and I'm like, there I am, right? There was nothing there. So it was the whole not waiting thing that totally mattered.
For you?
Well, it has to be true for everyone, right?
No, it's not true for everyone. Enlightenment is an accident. It can't be forced.
Right.
It can't be forced. It can't be obtained. It's an accident that occurs or does not occur. All a person can do is prepare the ground for that accident to occur.
Right.
And it is a surrendered mind that supports the accident.
Exactly. And trusting.
Well, trust and surrender are synonymous, but most of the sannyasins of Osho's weren't practicing. They were collecting information. They were information collectors, and so they failed.
And they were showing off with each other.
Well, that was the collecting knowledge and showing off.
Right.
Rather than actually practicing anything that led the mind to surrender, they were practicing competition on I know this and I know better than you. And of course, it doesn't work. The collection of knowledge doesn't help people raise their consciousness levels. It just makes them knowledgeable.
Right. Well, it doesn't even do that sometimes. You gotta wonder. So the thing about me though is that I wasn't at Rajneeshpuram, I wasn't at Pune, so I was just by myself, and I didn't have other sannyasins to talk to, and I think that was very, very helpful.
Very helpful. The only person that can help you when you're waking up is someone who's already awake. Someone who's not awake will probably lead you astray. The Buddhafield is caused in a human being by awareness being aware of itself. That's aware of the mind becoming aware of itself and staying aware of itself. And Osho had that permanently, full time, 24 hours a day. The Buddhafield was there because of awareness aware of itself in Osho. And that's the only way that you can really tell if someone's awake, is if they have that Buddhafield 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter what they're doing. Then they're awake. That's because anyone can pretend to be holy.
Right. So the Buddhafield is, it's always there, right? If a person is not aware of who they are, then there's just like a crust. I don't know if that's how you would describe it, that keeps that Buddhafield from coming through.
Well, there's an absence of the Buddhafield, because the Buddhafield is produced by awareness being aware of itself continuously. It's like in the beginning, the awareness it finds itself, and there's a Buddha field. After a period of time, it seems to lock on like two permanent magnets connecting to each other, and then nothing can stop it.
Say that again?
Well, there's a lot of teachers out there at the moment who aren't fully awake. They're partially awake. They can sit and self-inquire and find beingness, and then they might hold satsang, but then they go back to ego-based reality, because the awareness draws away from itself and back to the mind, because the mind has not been prepared for enlightenment yet. And this field of energy that is produced is there all the time if the person is fully awake. If they're not fully awake, it comes and goes. And I spoke to John DeRuyter about this 26 years ago, and he called these people half-baked enlightened. They were half-baked. That was his term for it. And I thought, well, that's interesting, John. Half-baked enlightened. But it seems that there's not much you can do, because there's another element involved in enlightenment, and it's karma. It's like if a person's karma is good, they get to hang out with people who are awake. If it's not good, they don't get that opportunity. And so all of the people that were close to Osho had very good karma because they were hanging out with a Buddha. And the people that didn't have such good karma. And the people that were very close to him had the best chance. Whether they took advantage of that best chance or not, I don't know. Because around Osho it was madhouse.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I wasn't there.
I was. I in '85. I was with him, and it was crazy in Oregon. And I had a journalist's license, and so I was there as a journalist, and I could talk to anyone and go to any space. So I investigated the whole scene, including interviewing Osho, and it was full on, man. It was full of bullshit. That's the basic.
Well, that's funny, because that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Well, of course, the 10,000 Buddhas, right?
Yeah.
So I wake up expecting everyone else to do the same thing. And it was like nobody did.
No.
And it was, yeah, and it was so weird.
Yeah, well, he said he'd dissolve into his people. He said that he would dissolve into his people when he body passed.
Well, transmission of the lamp.
Transmission of the lamp, yeah.
Right, right. So I still think we need 10,000 Buddhas.
I would agree. I don't think the planet has a chance unless consciousness rises. I think that the planet for human being habitation is doomed. In fact, if we don't raise our consciousness levels, because there's too much lower consciousness at work, which involves selfishness and greed.
Right, right. And you're talking about the craziness. There's still so much craziness going on, and there's spirituality everywhere, and everybody wants to be a spiritual teacher, and they're all out teaching each other weird, crazy things.
I would agree with that. There's a lot of people out there who shouldn't be teaching.
Yeah. 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 And so, but anyway, my actual quest is to find better and better and better ways to work with people.
It's difficult.
But it's really hard to find somebody who's actually prepped up enough to even start.
Yeah. So fortunately for me, before awakening, I was trained and working as a psychotherapist. And so I had a lot of experience under my belt in running groups because I did 3 years of training in group therapy as a psychotherapist. And I worked as a psychotherapist for 10 years as a primal therapist. So I had all this understanding of how the mind worked and how it didn't work and what worked and what was good under my belt. So when I started teaching, I first started with Advaita Vedanta, which was teaching self-inquiry to people, then became very aware that people weren't ready for self-inquiry because they hadn't done the work on their minds yet to actually create a mind that was equanimous. And so then my work headed more towards teaching people how to have equanimous minds, how to have equanimous minds so they could raise their consciousness levels.
Right.
And I've been doing that now for 26 years.